Greetings, greetings, greetings to all my loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, Empress Oracle, your favorite, realest, sexiest spiritual advisor. You guys know why you're here, all my Starseeds light workers. On behalf of Starseed Galactic Federation, I have been given access to this knowledgeable information from my Akashic records and through personal experience to help humanity, okay? This was given to me as a divine channel, and any use or reproduction of this information without the acknowledgement for where it was received will result in instant karma for the plagiarizing parties and or individuals. And so it is. If you don't like my disclaimer or my opening, feel free to fast forward as long as you get the message. That's what matters. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Trust you me. But anywho, today, one of the topics, because, I feel I've learned a lot, because a part of being a healer is learning. In order to be a healer, you have to be able to heal through your toxicities, your childhood traumas and struggles, your life's tests. And once you heal, then you're supposed to impart that information to others that they can heal as well. Hopefully, they won't have to go through the same shit that you went through. So I have learned some new lessons. I have healed some more traumas, and I'm here to let you guys know my perception, my take, and what I have gleaned from these experiences. So hopefully it can help somebody to stop going in circles and repeating the same toxic cycles with people that they love or that are supposed to love them. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about today is hurt people hurt people. That is a saying that we hear a lot, right? I know everybody's heard the expression hurt people hurt people. And really, sometimes some people really don't understand the depth of that meaning or what exactly it means, because as human people, human nature, I know especially me when I was younger and I was real low vibrational, whenever somebody caused me any kind of pain, whether it was physical, emotional, mental, hurt my feelings, anything, I used to want to beat them the fuck up. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm an Aries. I'm a fighter. I'm going to beat your ass. That's how shit used to go. Okay, you hurt my feelings. I'm going to hurt your face. However, originally, I grew up in the Bronx. So, fighting was a little bit more acceptable. When I moved down south, Georgia and whatnot, they will take you to jail. So therefore, I had to learn how to kind of express my displeasure in another way instead of going and hurting people or trying to make them feel the same kind of pain that they were making me feel. So that was one of the first tests or lessons that I learned, was how to basically, since I could not break your face, how could I break your feelings as well? And that is a prime example of hurt people hurt people. So I learned how to use my words at a young age, right? But what we have to understand is, a lot of times people like to say, oh, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And that, we all know that's bullshit, because sometimes words are spells first and foremost. So a lot of times you could do a lot of damage to somebody with your words and not even realize it. Or you may say something in passion in the heat of the moment because you're speaking from a hurt place and you want to make that person feel hurt. But then you might heal differently than that person. So you may be, as I said, in that moment feeling passionate, and you may say something that may cause irreparable damage to somebody's self-esteem, right? Their heart. Everybody does not heal the same. So you have to learn how to understand that. When I was young, I learned, let me tell you something. I intentionally used to say things to people to damage their self-confidence and their self-esteem, or to hurt their feelings. Or I would, say things of love to uplift people and to make them feel good about themselves the same way that I felt about myself. And then if they were to make me mad or something, I would intentionally say something, trigger them, hit a trigger point, a tender point, a soft spot on them that I knew would basically undo all of the building up that I did for that person or that they did for themselves. And I had to learn the hard way not to do that to people, because as I say, karma is real. I know her personally. I have experienced karma from situations like that. I, in turn, have had people who have intentionally set out to hurt my feelings as well, right? Who intentionally made me feel good about myself, or made me feel like I was on top of the world, and then intentionally said things to crash it down. And also sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you don't say as well, because sometimes no response is a response. And sometimes it's a deeper and it sends a clearer message than responding, right? So I had to learn that lesson because I did not like when Karma spun the block on me and was like, hey, Keisha, baby, remember you did that? Boom. I didn't like the way that that felt. So that was the first level of me learning how to not, that might hurt, fuel me to hurt others. I had to find a positive outlet. I had to find another way to express myself so that that person could understand where I was coming from, my pain and my feelings, and not cause them pain instead. Because what goes around comes around. So sure enough, the same way you put those ill intentions out for somebody, or you set that intention to hurt somebody, their feelings, their body, anything, is going to come back to you, even if it doesn't come back from that same source. So I had to learn that. And I had to realize that the reason why I was doing these things was because I was hurt. And I wanted people to feel the same pain. I had to really sit back and, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Right? Because after a while, sometimes when you always know that you set out to be like a get back kind of person, or a tit for tat kind of person, or if you know you have some pettiness in you and somebody does something to you and you want to do something back to them, sometimes you really have to take a step back and really identify the source of that pain. Is it even really that person, or is it triggering you? And a lot of people are not conscious enough or aware enough, or sometimes they really just don't even give a fuck. They don't want to do that work. They don't want to look at themselves and heal their own hurt. Instead, it's easier for them to just lash out. But we have to stop doing that, because as we are realizing, not only are words spells, but words, whether they're true or false, are breaking up marriages, they're breaking up friendships, they're breaking up businesses, things that were intended to be put together to build something even better and greater outside of ourselves. So we have to stop being so selfish and so self-centered with our feelings, right? To where we want other people to experience the same kind of pain. Sometimes you really have to be the bigger person. And that is a lesson that I had to learn at a very young age. And that is a lesson that I continue to have to learn. And that is just a part of life. Certain lessons in life, you're always going to have to continue to learn over and over and over again. And it's okay, because each time that you learn that lesson, there is something else that you're learning, right? Another piece to the puzzle that you're adding to your whole outlook of life. Is for the better of not just you, but for others as well. Because each one teach one, and you cannot help somebody if you don't know how. If you don't know how to speak their language, if you don't know how to communicate on one level, if you don't know how to communicate with force or painful words, things that tear people down, right? Sometimes people have the mentality of they're saying they're going to give tough love, because I went through that also too, where I would say things a little bit too harshly, which, Aries have an issue with tact, but I work on it. But I would say the things from a place of love, but perhaps the delivery would not be the best. And sometimes when somebody is hurt, they can't look past the harshness of your statements. Sometimes they just are automatically on defense. So they're automatically ready to get their feelings hurt, because that's what they're used to. They're prepared for that hurt. So they don't know how to accept those words. They don't know how to look past the harshness of the tone, even if they know that you're just that kind of person. So that's why you have to learn how to speak people's languages when it comes to communication. Some people, you can show them better than you can tell them. And sometimes your actions, they don't have to be so harsh to get such a deep message of, hey, you hurt me, across. That's what I'm saying. No response is a response. And people have to learn sometimes to be the bigger person instead of going out to try to lash out to others and hurt them the way that they hurt themselves. You have to realize, if you are aware of that, if you realize that somebody hurt you and that they're coming from a hurt place, you should automatically be the bigger person. That automatically tells you what role you play in that lesson, in that life lesson. Your role is the bigger person. So instead of acting out or lashing out, maybe perhaps take a step back and use that moment as a teaching moment, not just for you, but for that other person as well. And instead of hurting them back, you can either give them no response, which kills a lot of people. It eats them up. because people really want you to feed into that negative energy, because a lot of people are energy vampires and they don't know how to receive positive energy and love. So they would rather receive it from a toxic place or a hurt place. At least you're feeding them, right? So instead of doing that, instead of feeding the beast of negativity, which is what's taking over the world, you have to transmute that energy. You have to find another way, as I said, to communicate, even if it's silence. And it's okay that you take that time to filter through your emotions and understand why you feel that way, whatever side of the coin that you're on, the person who was hurt or the person who was doing the hurt, right? Sometimes we just have to take a step back. That's what the world is missing nowadays. People are not taking a pause to filter through their feelings and emotions and find out what's really theirs and what's not, and why they're reacting, why they're hurt and hurting other people. And it's very important for us to do that, because we have children to raise. Look around, look how we were raised. Look how we saw our family, our friends, our peers, how we saw them respond, their trauma responses, their response to hurt. How did that land them? Where did that end them up? People are so busy trying to match people's energy. And that's why we're in a world full of hurt. We literally are self-destructing our own selves. And we have to realize that it's time for us to heal, because hurt people indeed do hurt people. And in order to break generational curses and toxic cycles, you have to learn how to be above the influence. Influence is not always positive. Sometimes when people hear the word influence, they think influential, they think rich, positive, they think good things. But there are a lot of influences that are negative, that have poisoned our minds and our actions. And it's showing because people are literally hurting themselves by going out their way to try to hurt other people. And that's something that I had to realize, and I continue to realize, because you know what? As I said, a lot of times you will learn the same lesson in different forms. God will send different people to teach you the same lesson in different ways, for you to understand sometimes that it's not you, for you to understand sometimes that it's not your situation, it's not the environment, it is the person acting off of their trauma and their hurt, because they have not taken the time to process, to filter their emotions, to do the inner work. And you can either lead by example or leave them the fuck alone. But never stoop to somebody's level, guys. The world is hurt enough as it is. We are hurting ourselves enough as it is. And it's time for somebody, when nobody is around and you're dealing in a situation like that, to take it upon yourself to be the bigger person in the situation, especially when you are aware that you are A, either a hurt person, or B, the person being hurt by a hurt person. That's all I'm saying, guys. I feel like I got to the point on that, and I hope that everybody received this message well and from love. As I said before, this is a lesson that I constantly learn, and I have no shame with learning these lessons, because each time it helps me to help somebody out there who might not understand, or maybe in an environment where the other people, where nobody has taken it upon themselves to be the bigger person or the example. That if that's the case and you're seeing this, that means that you are the chosen one. It's you. So do this message what you will. If it brought you peace and clarity, I ask you to please share it with others. And also please take the time out to look on my Etsy, Empress Oracle Shop. There I have items that can help you along your spiritual journey and can help you to heal, such as butters, bath salts to cleanse your aura, crystals. I do custom orders as well. And I also have spiritual body oils that not only do they smell amazing, but they can aid you on your journey, whether it be for self-love, to help communicate, to open your roads or remove blockages. Everything you need is on Etsy at Empress Oracle Shop. Thank you for watching my message, and I love you all.